Hi everyone, I'm Ike Eveland, a virtual novelist from Nijisanji and part of Luxiem.
There's a Swedish brand called Marabou, and I really like those. There's a Marabou with Oreo pieces in it, and it slaps. Milk? Milk is milk, isn't it? I mean, I tend to prefer my milk to be a little bit on, like, higher on, like, the fat percentage. Because then it gets, like, a sort of... a little bit of a whipped cream kind of flavor. So, that's nice. That would be Rockstar Endurance, but they don't sell it here anymore. There's this, I don't know if I would call it my favorite, but in Sweden, if you go to Subway, out of the drink fountains, you can actually get a lingonberry drink. It's not carbonated, and I know it doesn't sound like it would work. I know it doesn't sound like it would be delicious, but I assure you, it is one of the most refreshing drinks I've ever had, especially during a hot day. It's so good. Holy crap. The thing is, with fast food, I'm not picky. I don't really put things in a hierarchy. I just know what is good and what is not good. I usually don't rank the good stuff. Because all the best food that you can get are never from, like, fast food places. You get it from something like, I don't know, not something that's not really a franchise, something that's more privately owned kind of thing, where they're just, like, trying to get by and do their own little thing. So things like McDonald's is fine, but the thing about McDonald's is that you know that it's bad. It's bad for you, it's not that great, but sometimes that's exactly what you want. Whereas Burger King, personally, not a fan. I think their burgers taste like nothing. Apparently their fries are good. I don't eat fries, so meh. Doesn't really do much for me. Wendy's is pretty freaking based. I love the Baconators so much, because I love bacon and everything, so that's really, really nice. The Frosties are also really good. The only problem is that I've gotten food poisoned by Wendy's twice. So, that's the problem with that. I also think that their marketing is also pretty next level. They're the first one that started the whole fun, quirky brand account on Twitter trend. At least that I remember.
I like pizza. I like my margaritas with bacon on them. I'm kind of basic like that. There's nothing fancy on my pizzas. You know, can't beat the classics. Ah, yes. The famous question. Do I like pineapple on pizza? Well, for me personally, pineapple on pizza is a no. It's not for me, but I'm not one to shame people for wanting to put something on their pizza that I don't like. Something I will shame, however, is in the land of IKEA, we have this accursed thing called banana pizza. And that thing needs to be put in a fiery pit in hell. Because why? Why would you ever put banana on pizza? Ugh. That does not belong. I'm sorry.
Depends. I tend to be, like, if possible, I like to have a strawberry shortcake. I like that. I like strawberry cake. Other times I'll have, like, mud pie or something, if you guys know what that is. It's like very thick, like sort of chocolatey thing that you tend to put vanilla or whipped cream on. It's pretty good. Other times, like, I don't know, ice cream is enough for me. The thing is, Swedish pancakes are regular pancakes to me. We make them from scratch. We don't use any pancake mix, and we make our own mixes. And we make them very thin. They're not very thick. A lot of people say that, oh my god, that's just a crepe. But it's not. It's not a crepe. So we make very thin pancakes. I prefer to make mine when I put the butter into the pan.
we tend to use liquid butter. I pour the mix right in the middle of the butter because that makes the edges really like delicious and crispy. And then I just put on a lot of jam. My preferred jam is something either strawberry jam, raspberry jam, or queen jam, drottningsylt, as we have over here, which is a mix between blueberry and raspberry. My favorite meatballs is actually store-bought. Because, I don't know, homemade meatballs are great, but I've never made them myself, so I don't really know the way to make them, to get them to taste that way. Some people like to put sauce on their meatballs, like some sort of gravy, and apparently that's delicious, but it doesn't really work for me. So I just have like these very tiny meatballs that I buy at the store, and I throw them in a pan, and I tend to prepare them on a very low heat because I want them to cook all the way through. I think they're more delicious that way. But once I kind of have them in the pan for a long time so that they get a little bit of a sear on them, that they become a little bit crispy. And I like that. And then I have them together with either rice or some sort of a pasta. But some people like to have it with mashed potatoes. I don't like potatoes, so yeah, that's usually not a go for me. But yeah, that's how I like them. Gore anime, I don't look for gore in stuff, but some of the stuff that I like can be pretty graphic. For example, Elfen Lied and Another, those are pretty graphic, so if you're watching those, then please proceed with caution. Higurashi no naku koro ni. I said that in my debut. I don't know if I have a favorite. There's many I like. What's a horror movie I've rewatched many times? I don't consider Final Destination to be horror movies. I just call them supernatural thrillers, maybe. I like the first It movie, like the 2017 one, It Chapter 1. That one is really good. The Shining is also a movie I rewatched many, many times. Depression. Good question. What is my favorite horror game? I guess it would be one of the Resident Evils, perhaps? Let me think a little bit. What is my favorite horror game? What's a horror game that I keep replaying? Actually, maybe it's one of the Silent Hills. Let me think. Actually, no. Okay. My final answer, Rule of Rose. Final answer, Rule of Rose. Don't think I have a favorite console, but favorite console startup. That's a freaking good question. Oh, that's a good question. Holy crap. It's so good. Oh, okay, let me think. Favorite console startup. I'm gonna say, like, the two best console startups. No, three best console startups, in my opinion, in no particular order, is PS1, PS2, and GameCube. Those are the best ones, in my opinion. And I'm gonna say PS2 is the best one. Because, like, it's so iconic and ingrained into my memory. And there's also, because I don't know if you guys knew this, like, I feel like it's fairly common knowledge, but in case there's some of you that don't, you know when you boot up the PS2 and you see all those square towers? Did you know that that's actually the amount of playtime in the games that are saved on the memory card? So if you remove your memory card, those things vanish. My favorite Pokemon is Cyndaquil. Cute little fire hedgehog. I already liked him as a starter when I played Pokemon Gold and Silver back on the Game Boy Color.
But what really cemented my love for Cyndaquil was when I started playing the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games. There's this personality quiz that you do at the beginning, right? And every single time that I have taken that personality quiz for what kind of Pokemon you should be, not a single time I have not ended up as Cyndaquil. So that I think that's really nice. Like it kind of gave me a little special connection with the little fella. I like pretty much all types of music, with like maybe the exception of country, but even then there are country songs that I have heard that I kind of liked.
What's happening?
I guess it's just bro country that I don't like. Bro country is the one that doesn't work for me. Thanks to Vocaloid. I saw producers like making these songs like that I found really incredible, mainly out of their bedrooms, and I was like, why don't I give that a try too? And yeah, I was terrible in the beginning, but after a while, you know, I got a little bit better, and now I think I'm doing okay. That's a good question. I don't know. It's just like an entire community with people from all different backgrounds and different like musical styles, just creating something that's very unique, especially back in the day where people essentially used the characters associated with the voice banks as fuel for their creativity to create music and create songs. It's a little bit difficult to explain exactly what's the appeal of it, but I just really, really love it. I know that a lot, for some people, the synthesized vocals can be a little bit hard to get used to, but to me, it was never a big issue. In fact, in the beginning, I didn't even realize that the voices weren't real.
I love the Kagamine twins. I love Din and Den so much. I don't really have a specific preference for what voice bank anybody uses. I think they just kind of sound cute all the time. But I'm obviously very, very partial to their original Vocaloid 2 voice banks because they're so nostalgic. They have that really nostalgic sound to it. But yeah, for Utauloids, I don't know too many, but I do think that Kasane Teto is very cute. I don't know what my favorite Japanese song is. Picking favorite songs in general is kind of hard for me. Oh, one song I really like is by Keno. It's called Glow. I don't know if you guys have heard it. It goes like, なんだっけ? 降り注いだ冷たい雨青い傷を溶かしてた
Of course I do. I spoke a little bit about this during my debut, but I like rock and metal a lot, so of course I like rock and metal producers like Utsupi, Yuyupe, and Muryoku P. Who else are there? Yuzi P. Don. Who else are there? Yeah, those are the ones I can think of at the top of my head. I don't know if I have a favorite, but some of the ones I like is My First Story, One Ok Roku, Crystal Lake, and Cold Rain, and Nocturnal Bloodlust. Oh, and recently I've also been listening to Broken by the Scream and Passcode. Depends. Usually I sit down because I don't know, it's easier for me to record that way. It's what I've gotten used to, but there are some things that I recorded standing up. Hope in the Dark, I recorded standing up because I recorded a different way than I am recording right now. I also recorded Chronos standing up. But the karaoke I sang entirely sitting down. I didn't stand up for that. Jazz on the Clock, I sang sitting down as well. And all my voice packs, I've recorded sitting down. I play guitar and a little bit of bass, that's about it. I wish I played more. I have it written down somewhere. Let's see. Okay, my vocal range is A flat 1 to C7. But I can only reach C7s on certain days. I've only recorded myself singing it once.
I pretty much wear this relatively casually, you know, reminds me of home a little bit, but if I'm not feeling to dress up entirely for the occasion, just like this. That's pretty casual, don't you think? Like, I could go to a very casual event like this.
Maybe? I think I might have? I don't really remember. I usually don't get nightmares from, like, media. I can get scared of media. Like, I know when I watched Hereditary, I was kind of afraid to look out the window when it was really dark outside. That was kind of freaky. But when I'm actually sleeping, I don't tend to get nightmares from media. Whenever I get nightmares, it's like things that I'm personally afraid of, and I think that's much worse. Things that are really personal to you, you know? You know, I mean, isn't it obvious? I don't know if I would say that I have a favorite color. It's a toss-up. Obviously, as you might be able to tell, I am very partial towards blue, but I also quite like red. Red is a very nice color. There's a lot of cool stuff that you can do with it. 2. I'm trying to speak Japanese, but I'm still very bad at it. I am not superstitious. At least I wouldn't consider myself superstitious. I tend to approach most things from a logical point of view. Sometimes to a fault, where I feel like everything has to make sense. It's even got it to the point, like, sometimes when I am talking to people, and they are just sort of... they're talking, they're expressing their thoughts and emotions, like, whatever state they might be in. And there's... ooh, Jesus. There's always this part of me is just like, okay, but why are you feeling that way? Why are you thinking that way? And they're just like, I don't know, man. It's just how I'm feeling, man. Just like, okay, but that doesn't make sense because this, and this reason. And they just kind of go, well, dude, I don't know what to tell you. I just feel this way. It's something I need to work on.
No, but I know people who do that. Except for, like, when I was really young. I had a stuffed animal of a bunny. A bunny that I loved very much. I named her Snowflake. I don't have really big hands, honestly. I always kind of struggled to form some complicated guitar chords where I really gotta spread out my fingers, so I wouldn't say that they're, like, awfully big. So they're kind of the medium side, I guess. I liked English. I liked English a lot. Korean. I really want to learn Korean, but it seems very difficult. I struggle very much with Korean pronunciation. Find fun ways to do it instead of just reading. Reading textbooks can be a little bit soul-draining. So immerse yourself by watching shows without subtitles and making flashcards. Or maybe watch streamers, watch YouTube videos. Essentially, surround yourself with the language as much as you can and essentially cut out your native language entirely. Because then your brain is going to start trying to work out patterns, which our brains are very good at. It just takes a lot of time. So keep at it. I'm terrible with knowing flowers. Whenever somebody asks me, okay, I'm such a nerd, but whenever somebody asks me, like, hey, what flowers do you like? My immediate, response is lunar tears because of near. But as for, like, real flowers, maybe roses. And I think that blue roses are a thing, right? Like, they can be bred to be blue, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, that's my answer for actual flowers, but if you want to draw me with a flower that don't exist, by all means, do make it a lunar tear. I don't really have much time to write novels as much as I used to anymore. Besides, I found a different way of sharing experiences with the world when I discovered the internet, namely live streaming. So that's what I decided to do, especially when I found the wonderful place of Nijisanji. What better place is there to share experiences through live interaction? I used to climb trees a lot. I don't know why. I usually tried surprising people with my tree climbing skills because I was really good at like wrapping my arms and legs around the tree and just sort of like shimmying up it. So I would climb trees, and whenever people would pass by, they would be like, "Ike, how the heck did you get up there? There's no branches to grab onto." And I was felt really proud about that. Have I? That's a good question. I've been a really big fan of people. Like, I look up to people a lot. Does that count? Okay, listen, I don't simp for Hatsune Miku. I don't simp for her. It's like if you're religious, like Christians, they don't simp for God. Hatsune Miku is your religion? Isn't it obvious? Every time I wake up, I walk up to my Miku figurines, go down on my knees, put my hands together, and say a prayer. If you want to draw me smoking a cigarette or any sort of tobacco, that is 100% fine. I've never smoked in my entire life, but if I know that some people think that aesthetic is really cute, really cool or really appealing. So if you want to draw that, then that is 100% okay with me. I do not mind at all. I like hedgehogs. Hedgehogs are kind of cute. There used to be a hedgehog that lived under a porch at a place that I was staying, so I kept seeing it run around the garden sometimes, and it would crawl in under there. So yeah, I like hedgehogs. They're very cute. I really don't have one. I have this one brand of shampoo that I usually buy, and that's about it. But for whatever reason, my hair becomes really soft when I use it. Nina Senpai can confirm. She just kept touching it when we were out walking. I would have to say sunset or... It depends on where you are. One of the most beautiful things I've ever seen is seeing the sun set over the horizon in the middle of the ocean. That was beautiful. I used to know a dog. I'll say that much. I used to know a dog. It was a very good dog. The dog in question is a Labrador, a black one. Hecky. I sleep in different ways. Sometimes I sleep on my back, other times I sleep on my side, and sometimes I sleep on my stomach. It entirely depends on how tired I am. Sometimes I just like completely flop on my stomach if I'm completely dead. Other times, sometimes I lay down sideways on my bed and I prop up my phone on my nightstand next to my bed, and I watch YouTube videos like that and fall asleep. And other times, I just lay on my back and drift off to sleep. Usually when I do that, I'm listening to something, whether it be a YouTube video that calms me, ASMR, or something like that. I don't think I snore a lot, but it has happened. I know that during Luxiem's early days in Nijisanji, I fell asleep in call once in my chair. I snored once and then I woke up, according to the others. Well, step one, you need to make sure that the person that you like is holding a Q&A panel. And then, like, when you be 15 minutes into the thing,
you walk out from the side, you walk up to the microphone, and you speak into it. I'm joking. I'm joking. You're asking the wrong person. You're asking one maidenless boy over here. Oh, anxiety. There are actually quite a few times where my anxiety gets really, really bad. It becomes hard to breathe, and I don't know if this is a thing that happens to a lot of people, but when anxiety gets really bad, sorry to use a somewhat graphic description, but it's sort of like somebody is stabbing you in your gut, but from the inside. And it feels like there's something physical there that you just kind of want to reach in and get out because it's so uncomfortable. That's what happens with my anxiety when it gets really bad. It's a little bit tricky to get rid of. The best way to do it is just distract yourself with things that make you happy. So I try to make myself happy in any way that I can. Either I play a game, I sleep on it, I listen to music. Sometimes I listen to heavy metal to get really swept up into it, so I focus on that, or I listen to lo-fi. Lo-fi tends to calm me a lot as well. So I just try to distract myself. If I'm thinking about something else, preferably something that I think is fun or enjoyable, then eventually I'll start thinking less about the anxiety, and then it goes away.